Hello everyone, welcome to our Let's Play series of the Age of Decadence. This is Colonel RPG as usual, and I'm very happy that you chose to join me today as we continue to explore Madoran. And I was gonna go and chat with the arena master over there, but then I saw this grab-a-bite tavern over here, and then I thought, why not? Why not? Let's go in there. Let's see if there's anything or anybody interesting in. Oh, this looks to be empty. Only the owner here. Hello, Mr. Basil. How's it going? What can I do for you? Asks Basileus, the proprietor of this establishment. A balding man with a round, pudgy face and bags under his eyes. Well, nothing, I guess. Let's leave. So, yeah. I guess that's that. The Grab-a-Bite Tavern doesn't really hold anything for us. So, yeah, let's keep going. Let's have a chat with the arena master. I'm not sure if I can bet on fights or what, but I don't want to fight, that's for sure, because I would die. I'm not good with those. The arena master looks at you appraisingly and gives you the most convincing fake smile you've ever seen, beckoning you to come closer. Judging by the number of rings on his fingers, business is good. Look what crawled out of some shithole and made its way to our glorious city, or what's left of it. Seeking your fortune in the big city, I take it. Well, how about a job in the entertainment industry? What kind of entertainment? The arena master grins. The best kind. Fight in the arena to amuse the crowd and make a name for yourself. Everything your victims have is yours. So, what do you say? No. Why not? I will tell you why not. Jesus Christ, I would die in a second. Jesus, I'm really not good with those. Let's not fight. Let's keep the fighting to a minimum. So we got a little bit of a house over here. The door is dead bolted from the inside. Dead bolted? Okay, and I've already been here. It's fine, let's go, let's keep going, let's keep exploring. We got some guys over here. We got, looks like beggars or something. And these ruins, we have a dwelling over here. What is that? Oh, this guy speaks. These miserable shacks mark the beginning of the slums of the Madoran. Even the shouts coming from the arena seem to be damped by the bleak surroundings. Yeah, because we're at the western side of things right here. And of course this district over here is the old... this is the Abyss, right? Yeah, but this is the old, what's it called? District of, Wisdom or something? So this beggar, you want money?
Show kindness to a veteran, good master.
Barks a scowling beggar when you come too close.
A coin or two is all I ask. Come on, we both know you can afford it.
Yeah, why not?
Oh, much obliged,
says the beggar, offering a practiced military salute. Are you really a veteran?
Antida's finest,
says the man with a bitter smile.
Yeah, wrong side I know, but it's hard to tell them apart beforehand. Every lord makes it sound like his cause is righteous and his side is going to come out the winner, but in the end, it always comes to a roll of the dice.
So how did you end up here?
It's a long story. You sure you have time for it?
Well, I have the time, but I'm just not sure if I have the throat. Let me just drink a little bit of water. Let's get ready. So yeah, I'd like to hear it.
Alright, so yeah, I served Antidas, but it was more than a job for me. I took the oath and meant every word. God's help me, I didn't believe any of Antidas, the last emperor bullshit that the court poet always went on about. For me, what mattered was that Antidas actually gave a shit. I worked for the Commercium years before, so I knew how rich bastards could treat you. But Antidas was different. He'd actually spent time with this man. He said the prophecy wasn't just about him, that we were all part of it, and that the words themselves were just an empty blather without good man to back them up and follow his lead. We were the foundations upon which the house was built, he said. Fine words, though I know it must sound like so much horseshit coming from me.
Yeah, I can understand that. Antidas has kind of inspired me as well. I mean, he's got his flaws, but yeah, he's a good man, I think. He's a good man.
Yeah, things were really gearing up by the time I joined. His father left him the throne less than a year prior, you see, so Antidas was chomping at the bit to get things rolling, considering how cautious and miserly his father had been. He spent a lot of gold on payroll so his recruiters could compete with the Imperial Guards, and began outfitting his men in armor and of the grand old Imperial style. Pretty soon the common folk took Hausdarten for the real descendant of the Empire, while the so-called Imperial Guard took the role of shameful pretenders staffed by ill-armored lepers. The ranks began to swell, and in a little over half a year, Antidas was ready to stake his claim. Luck favored Antidas. Yardu had began a huge push to the south, and Gallius had to bleed his own legions to beef up the guards to the north. Gallius knew it would risk the legitimacy of the charter if he did nothing but spend his time with some Bactrian belly dancers, while the guards died defending his backyard from the greatest threat since the Cantari, so he didn't have much choice in the matter. That bold mass took Gallius' carefully arranged game board and threw it into the abyss, and Antidas was poised to exploit the situation. He sent his uncle to Genazar to sell Meru on a joint attack against Gallius. He gave him 100 soldiers, and guess who was in charge of that entourage? Yours truly, that's right. Meru's mind was soft like clay, easy to mold, and the deal was struck within a week. Soon after, we were ready to march to war. With Gallius fighting a war on 3 sides, the Daratan front had become his soft underbelly. This was still Aurelian though, and Daratan was still the weakest house, so there was no certain outcome. Nonetheless, Antidas belted Gallius with everything he had. I don't know whether tactics or numbers won that first battle, but we absolutely bled those bastards. The house Daratan had accomplished a decisive victory, the first in decades. But all Antidas did was salute his men and walk the battlefield as calmly as if he were enjoying a stroll in the garden. We wanted it to seem as though this was all a matter of course. It must have taken a godly effort to hold in the pride he felt, and for us, hell, we didn't even bother trying.
So what happened then?
Well, it all went to shit, of course, but you already know that, don't you? Things went well enough during the first month after the initial attack. Aurelian withdrew, Daratan advanced, then one day we got word from the northeast that Meru had suddenly withdrawn his troops from the field. They hadn't been routed. They just completely ditched the war. Antidas didn't know what to think. Had Meru been bribed by Gallius? Had he lost his nerve? It turns out Meru hadn't lost his nerve, just his whole fucking mind. We brought Antidas' uncle to Genazar again, and he didn't even greet us when we walked into his court, but instead began a crazed oration. It was like we were listening to a totally different man. He spoke of gods, of revelations, spoke of the people, and he ultimately just spewed out a mess of the most impassionated insanity I'd ever heard. At first we hoped it was nothing but an act to cover Meru's real doubts about the war, and so Uncle stayed into the night to discuss it with him further. When he finally came out of the palace, his skin was white as gypsum. I tried to fish out some of the details, but the only thing he said was, "God help us." He actually believes every word. It's all over. And so it was.
Just like that?
It was the turning point, marking the end of Antidas' good fortune. The Imperial Guards ambushed and decimated the Ordu, and suddenly, Gallius was free to give Antidas the attention he deserved. Of course, we didn't see it this way back then, as Antidas had us convinced that the prophecy was coming true and nothing could stop him. Except Gallius' legions, of course. Virus. It was a disaster. Complete and utter fucking disaster. If Antidas didn't run, he would have lost everything there. When we got back to Terran, he practically barricaded himself in his compound, and that was the last I saw of him. No more speeches, no more heart-to-hearts, no more talks about prophecies.
So, how did you end up here after all that?
Oh, tell you the truth, I just couldn't stomach staying in Terran and pretending like nothing happened. I don't know how Antidas could handle it. Maybe he's a tougher bastard than I thought. For a while, we thought that he was just laying low, biding his time and waiting for the right opportunity. Turned out there was no opportunity. He sent an expedition to look for some temple in the wasteland, as if that was his main concern and nothing else mattered. Of course, his luck bent.
Yeah, that temple. That's the quest that we're here for. He sent us here to. Yeah, he told us that his expedition they all died. Oh boy.
Of course, his luck being what it is, he lost most men he sent on that fool's errand and didn't find any temple. Between you and me, I wouldn't be surprised if it exists only in his addled mind. I left shortly after, though I'd come to see Madaran. See the city. Thought I'd come to see Madaran, see the city that so many men died for. You know what? I don't think it was worth it. Anyway, my throat's getting dry, so it's time to go and water it. Take care of yourself, stranger.
Yeah, you too, man. You too. Spend those 5 coins wisely. I got plenty of those, though. Oh, something is happening. Ooh, looks like a riot or something. What is going on right now? Look at them. Oh, man. As you walk down the street, you hear shouts and see an angry crowd pursuing several men. They chase them into a nearby house and start discussing the best way to smoke them out. A lone guard shows up and tries to calm the tensions, but without visible success. I could leave, but I think my streetwise, because of course last episode we improved that. Yeah, my streetwise will probably save me if bad comes to worse. I guess let's approach. "Burn them!" yells a red-faced burly man in a dirty tunic pointing at the house. The crowd seems to share his animosity towards the house's inhabitants. "Nobody's burning anything in my district," says the guard weakly. He tries to infuse his words with authority, but he isn't eager to risk his life to restore order, which only emboldens the crowd. "So what's going on, guys?" "Oh, it's the Nutters. Now that they've got some numbers behind them, things are starting to get out of control. Earlier, they went through the district shouting, pushing over carts, and pissing people off. There was a fight, 3 dead, a dozen wounded. The preacher and his cronies holed up in there." He nods at the house. "And now these idiots want to burn it down and half a district with it." "The Nutters? What's that?" "The mouth breathers who follow these preachers around, eating up every word and asking for more." "Wait, they follow them around? What? Why do they want to kill him? What's going on?" Interesting. He must have said some blasphemy or something. "We didn't see it coming when it started. These preachers were talking crazy, but nobody listened. So, what's the harm, right?" And then something changed. Suddenly, they were drawing crowds, people were repeating their shit like it meant something, and now we have bloody riots in the middle of the day. Yeah, what preachers? I haven't heard any of those. I mean, I haven't seen them here in Madaran. I've seen one in Terran. Yeah, ever since Meru went nuts and started talking about the gods, some people took it upon themselves to spread its teaching, I guess, and bring the fucking light to our darkness. Now, as far as I know, the preachers never said a word about attacking the unbelievers, but maybe they didn't have to? Nah, make a man feel righteous and there's no telling how far he will go. Yeah, you're more right than you know, man. You're more right than you know. Anyway, what do they preach anyway? The usual shit. The godless will be punished, the righteous will be saved. Need any help? Oh, can you keep the crowd in check while I go and get more men to handle it properly? Sure. Let's have... Oh, Lord, success. Good. The guard leaves you in charge and quickly walks away. The crowd gets its hopes up and moves a few steps closer. "That preacher isn't going anywhere," says the burly man again. "We had enough of his shit." "So, what exactly? You're right. Nah, I'm not gonna... I'm kind of curious as to what exactly that guy said that pissed this guy so much. So, the preacher will be dealt with in accordance with the laws of House Aurelian. Any attempt to rob our Lord of his right to dispense punishment will be considered a grave insult, punishable by removal of the offender's right arm." "All right," says the burly man, spitting and narrowly missing your feet. "Have it your way. But if you ever catch this fucker in our neighborhood, yeah, he's ours." Okay, let's wait until the crowd is gone. Oh, what's that? I don't know. You see a man with a thin face, a narrow aquiline nose, and fire in his eyes. This must be the preacher. Behind him stand 2 men, roughed up and blooded. "Who are you?" asks the preacher. "Well, I'm a friend. It's safe to come out now." "Oh, the gods worked a miracle through you, my child, much like they always do. It is the righteous man like you that make this world worth saving." "Yeah, thank you, brother. So, what happened here today?" "My congregation wanted to share their love for the gods with their neighbors, but it is a duty of every believer to bring the light of true faith into the hearts of others. Yet apparently, such roads are filled with perils. The faithful were attacked, spat on, knocked to the ground, and beaten. We had to defend ourselves, but our creed isn't a militant one, so we fared poorly. All but these 2 lucky souls are dead now." "Wait, they killed you guys? They killed you? What? Man, those guys." "Oh, well, I'm glad I could help you then. We are in your debt, and this debt will be repaid. I'll bring the word of your deeds to the holy city of Ganazar, and Al's Crassus' reputation increased. Thank you." "So, did it increase by a lot? I also gained 3 skill points." "Nope, it did not increase by a lot. It only increased by 1. So, yeah, both houses only like us 1. I guess that's fine. House Daratan is really our house. We're the liegeman of House Daratan for Lord Arntidus. Yeah, he's a nice guy. He's a nice guy. So let's keep going. Keep exploring Madaran over here. We got a guy over there. He's not talkative right now. We got a broken minaret over here. Yeah, minaret, isn't the minaret the thing that preachers, Muslim preachers, call the people for the prayer time. I think that's basically how Christian churches have like the bell tower, and Muslims have their minarets, and they shout from over there. They don't use bells, they use people. Yeah, that's but that one is broken. There's another one back here. There's a huge one right here. We can't see the top. Look at this. It's huge. It's an enormous thing. So let's keep going. So this side of the Colosseum over here, not the Colosseum, but the arena, I guess, is nothing interesting. I got a house over here. It's a wretched-looking house with a damp floor and crude furniture put together from rotten boards salvaged elsewhere. The inhabitants of the house stare at you, ready to defend their hovel with their lives. It's okay, guys. It's okay. I'm not gonna mess with you. Man, poverty. Oh, this one can be opened? Who lives here? Hello? Is this a tavern? Doesn't look like a tavern. Oh, Demetrius! Oh, it's you! I've been looking for you everywhere. So this door is locked. Okay. Hi! You see a middle-aged man with a weathered face, half hidden by a scraggly beard. You ask if he's Demetrius Ulpius, and the man nods and steps back, letting you in. Well, I was already in, but it doesn't matter. So what can I do for you, stranger? Asks Demetrius tiredly. Oh, that was a bit too lively. Yeah, Lord Antius sent me to find a temple. You were my first stop. I don't see how I can help you, since I never found it. Well, you know more than I do. At the very least, you can tell me where the temple is not. Well, I suppose it's not really a secret. According to the map, the temple is somewhere northeast from Tyrion, but the map hasn't been drawn to scale, so it's almost impossible to pinpoint the exact location. What's worse is the map's been drawn before the war, so many places the map refers to are no longer there. There were reports of a buried temple east of Madaran, so that's where we started. We set up camps and started combing the desert, looking for the signs of the temple. The problem is the desert never stays the same. Wind constantly shifts the sands, making dunes and moving them at will. Entire towns have been known to disappear under the shifting sands, so looking for a buried temple in the desert is like, I don't know, looking for a needle in a haystack? Yeah, still, we were optimistic. But that's when the attacks came. The attacks? Yeah, we're too close to Madaran, too close to Galen's comfort. I'm not sure what he thought we were doing there, but it's very clear that he wanted us gone. At first, our scouts started disappearing, and then smaller camps came under attack. After losing a third of our men and some gear, we were forced to pack up and leave. So, you mentioned a buried temple? Several caravan masters reported seeing a buried temple emerging from the sand, the top of some pyramid surrounded by towers. They said it was pretty big as Terran even. Do you believe them? Well, their accounts were consistent and they had no reason to lie. At the same time, desert often plays tricks on one's eyes, so perhaps they all saw what wasn't there? Anyway, we kept moving northeast until we came to a dead river and the ruins of some dock. The riverbed was covered in fog. We could see the remains of some ships, but not much else. We lowered several men down there and sent them to look for a way up, but they didn't return. Then we split our group in two. One went north to look for a way to cross the river, the other went south. I was with a group that went north. We didn't find a way across, but we found something far more interesting. A temple carved in the face of a mountain. At first we even thought that we'd found a temple, that the gods led us to it. What happened then? Yeah, we rushed inside. Dumb assholes. We really thought we'd found it, but we all knew what Antidus was after. Had the temple already been looted, it would have been worthless. We had to find something valuable to bring back, something that would have made us all rich men. We had good lore masters with us. Antidus spared no gold getting the best men, and they were worth every coin. They knew what to look for and what to do with it before any of us could even blink. We went through it like Then it went through the temple like hounds following scent. They found hidden chambers and a moving platform to take us down to the lower levels. We thought we found the inner sanctum, but instead we found hell itself under our very feet. I knew what it was the moment I saw it, Hell Gate from the old stories. I begged the lore masters to leave it alone, but they were lost in the story. They were lost in the machines. I doubt they heard a word I said, and so I left them to their fate. A few men went with me, but most stayed there. When the ground shook, I knew the fools had awakened the machines. Then we heard the first screams. We knew better than to go back and try to save anyone. Wait, is that why you'd never try to find the temple again? It changed something in me. I mean, we've all heard stories about the olden days, but when they become real right before your eyes, you start thinking, what other stories are real? What if Galus is right to fear the artifacts? Maybe we really should lock them up and throw away the key? I hope you never find it, says Domitius quietly. Well, I've heard about this place. A raider told me that he stumbled upon a place similar to what you described. He found nothing but skulls and bones there. None of his men made it out alive. Yeah, the same fate befell my men. Was probably their skulls and bones that we'd seen there. With most of my men there, we couldn't even if we wanted to, but I can assure you that we'd lost our taste for adventure in that accursed place. So what about the other group? The one that went south? Well, I never heard from them again. I assume they're all dead, much like the rest of the expedition. Do you remember where the temple is in the mountains? Somewhere northeast from here, a few weeks' journey, maybe more. I wish I could be of more help, but my job was to keep us moving forward and secure the temple. Not to fiddle with an astrolabe. So, whose job was that? Gaius Laevinus. He was the best cartographer I've ever worked with, but I'm not sure he can help you much either. He was with me all the way and well, it changed him too. He stayed with me for a year, mostly staring blankly and talking to himself, then went to Ganazar. Good, so I gained skill points, and I now know that I need to go to Ganazar. Okay, so Antidas mentioned the Tower of Zemedi. Oh, Antidas wanted us to find a way in. I told him that we should stay clear of it, but he didn't want to hear that. So what else can you tell me? I've often wondered about the map itself over the years. I've seen a fair number of them, and none were made by a cartographer. My guess is that they were made by the temple's acolytes. They did their best, but they didn't really know what they were doing. My question is why? It's almost as if they knew that something was coming and were told to make maps to ensure that the temple will be found one day. Yeah, I guess that's... Anyway, that sounds like a familiar thing that would be like the fate of the world hangs on the balance and they knew they were prophets or something. I don't know. Anyway, thank you for your help, man. And let's leave. Oh, when you step outside, you're immediately surrounded by the Aurelian guards. They aren't hostile, at least not yet. The Praetor steps forward and gives you an appraising look. Lord Gallius desires the pleasure of your company, he says formally. It would be most unwise to refuse the invitation, he adds after a pause. Well, and if I refuse, you'll die. If not now, then later. His lordship merely wishes to discuss an area of common interest with you. Had he wanted you dead, you'd be dead already. Well, alright, let's go see him. I don't really have a choice, do I? I don't think I have a choice. Oh, nice hole. Nice hole, man. Good for you. You enter the main hall. At the far end of it, Lord Gallius holds court, receiving daily visitors in the order of their importance. A row of guards from a barrier between the lord of the house and the petitioners, with the blank stares on their face. Another row forms a semicircle around Gallius, their eyes constantly scanning the crowd. Let's approach. So, Antidas still wants to find the temple. He doesn't learn, does he? Asks Gallius. He speaks like a true statesman, addressing the audience rather than speaking directly to you. Last time, he sent a small army. This time, he sent you. Are you that good? Or is Antidas that desperate? Why do you care? Because those who don't understand what they are doing are the ones who should be watched the most. Do you have any idea what it is that you're trying to find for Antidas? They say it was a place of great power. Would you deliver that power? Abandoned for a good reason, mind you, to Antidas, who will put it to use without hesitation? Would you destroy what's left of our lands? Well, would you rather I leave it to you? I'd rather it remains lost. But since there is no shortage of fools willing to look for it, I want to find it and seal it for good, and I want you to help me. Well, let's see. I'm not sure I want to help you. I mean, I'm a lore master, so I'm not gonna seal it. No. I'm gonna help Antidas. Nah, seal knowledge? Are you crazy? I don't care how dangerous it is. I'm gonna get my skill level to 10, and I will get all the knowledge. All of the knowledge belongs to me. Let's see. Let's see, and if I say no, then I'll tell you that I will never allow this power to fall into Antidas's hand, no matter the cost. Should you do the right thing and help me seal the temple, I will not overlook it and reward you generously. Thus, your choice is between being hunted and killed and being rewarded and elevated. Not a hard choice at all. So can I leave? I'll consider it, I guess. Gallius tells the guards to take you back, and they dutifully escort you to Demetrius' house. I don't want to be here. I want to still look around. Okay, so we got an offer. Let's see, we got 29 skill points, that's fine, but yeah. We got an offer, but an offer that apparently we cannot refuse, otherwise he's gonna hunt me. I'm not sure what's going to happen, really, because I can't really defend myself against guards. Ooh, Quintus's Palace of Pleasure. Come get some strange for a few... Some strange? Is that slang? Maybe it is, I don't know. I'm not accustomed to the English language enough to know that. Come get some strange for a few coins, lowest price is guaranteed, or it's free. What? Really? Man, I heal this as well? Probably. Anyway, let's look around. I'm gonna check it later, but not right now. Let's just look around here. Actually, there's the Imperial Guards Fort, so let's not go there. Let's go to the House of Pleasure of Quintus. Quintus, where are you? No, I don't want... What? How the hell do I enter? Oh, I don't. Quintus's palace is upstairs, informs you an helpful old man, cooking something in a small bronze pot. Smell is revolting. Curious clap and other melodies, says the old man, offering you the concoction with pride. Did he offer me the concoction with pride? No, he didn't offer me anything. So it's upstairs. How do I get upstairs, though? Oh, I get upstairs, like so. Nice. Let me save the game. There we go, F5. Let's get in here. Looks very small. Hello, Quintus. Have a niche that needs scratching? You come to the right place. Apparently I don't. Maybe later though. Maybe later. I'm just exploring, guys. Don't feel any worse towards Cat over here. He's a polite and reputable fellow. Don't worry. I mean, he's not gonna say no to some stranger. What was the name they gave me? Strange. Yeah, I don't know what that is. I had no idea. Yeah, apparently it's some slang. I imagine it stands for booty, maybe? I don't know, treasure? A chest? A chest of treasure? Treasure chest, maybe? Got a guy over there. And does this lead me to another district, maybe? I don't think it does. So let's go to the Imperial Guards and have a chat with them. Legionary? Well, actually, I'm not sure if I should. Let's go in there. State your business or move along, so I need to chat with you guys. What do you want, boy? Nothing, apparently. How about you? What do you want, boy? Okay, so I can't get in there. Well, then that means that this district is done. Yep. That is the end of this district. Took me an hour. That was a nice hour, though. It was a nice hour to explore all of this, but let's go to the trade district. I wonder, ooh, you enter the trade district, the glittering heart of Madaran's economy. A stream of merchants and their goods flow through the arteries of this district, the tide ebbing and flowing but never ceasing. Towering over the district is the golden dome of the commercial headquarters, once a temple of the old gods, now a place of worship for the only god that the commercium truly believes in: money. Pay, 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 says one of the traders, heading out and cursing loudly. Pay to reach the city, pay to enter the city, pay for the privilege to sell my own wares. Where does this stop? So why do you come here then? As much as I hate to admit it, but it is the only real market. Yeah, nothing else comes close, so you either starve yourself selling your wares to a few villages and outposts that are still around, or you pray through the nose to take your wares to Madaran. What other choice is there? Well, aren't you with the commercium? I work for myself, that's why I went into the trading to begin with. It's not easy and you have to stay out of smaller towns, but Madaran is big enough to handle all the trading it does now and then some. Of course, we have to rent stalls for the commercium and pay them a hefty cut at the end of the day, but like I said, what other choice is there? So, who's running the commercium here? I know that answer. Strabus. Yeah, he's alright, if you pay on time and keep your word. Of course, if you miss the payment or try to skip town, it's another story, but that's the nature of the business. So, why do you stay out of small towns? If you're, I mean, seriously, why do you? If you're, I don't know, if you're selling by yourself and are not under the wing of the commercium, it doesn't make sense, does it? Small towns can only handle so much business, so if you bring your wares there, you'll be taking business from the commercium and they won't like it in... Oh, so they are also in small towns. That makes sense. Yeah, they won't like it one bit. But of course, you can sell directly to them, but it won't even cover the trip. So like I said, you either go to Madaran or service villages and outposts, and they can't afford to pay much. If they pay you with produce or you still need to sell it, which brings us back to Madaran. What about Ganazar? I tend to stay away from it. The market is smaller, so you sell less and at lower prices, but you pay the same levies. Not to mention that ever since Meru started preaching, Ganazar is ruled by mobs of zealots, while the guards do nothing to rein them in. If you want my advice, stay away from it too. Well, I'm not sure I'm gonna follow your advice, because I have a main quest to do. But for now, I am gonna cut the episode right here. I'm Colonel RPG, and this has been the Age of Decadence. I really hope you've enjoyed it, and if you did, go ahead and leave a comment, like the video, but above all, thank you so much for watching, and for sticking with me through this fantastic RPG. I'm enjoying my time so much. Yeah, and hopefully you'll join me for the next episode. For now, bye-bye!